Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Today we're continuing on with our time capsule, so let's go ahead and get started with in and out points in Premiere Pro. To get started, we're going to double click on our time capsule folder and then double click on our Premiere Pro project file in order to open it up in Adobe Premiere Pro. So this should be opening Adobe automatically for us so that we'll be able to go ahead and get started. Now, the reason that we're able to open this up is because we created a save file last time. Premiere Pro does not necessarily automatically save your changes, so it's going to be very important that every now and then you're going up to File at the top and selecting Save. That's going to make sure that you're not losing any of your work if something happens to your computer. As we're getting started here, the first thing we're going to take a look at is how to mark which parts of a video clip we want to use. To do this, we're going to double click on our video clip inside of our project panel here, and that should pop it open in the source monitor. If your screen doesn't look like mine right now though, let's go ahead and fix that real quickly. We'll go to Window at the top, we'll go to Workspaces, and we're going to actually go to the Editing workspace right here. So that's actually going to make some changes on mine, but now yours matches mine, and this should be a little bit better for editing. With our video in the source panel here, we're going to want to find where we want our video to start playing. So I'm going to rewind this by clicking and dragging on this blue icon called a playhead. And we're going to drag this back to the beginning of our video. Now that we're at the beginning, I'm just going to press the play button right here to find where I want my video to start, more or less. So I'll press play.
Hello, future.
I'm just going to stop it right as soon as I start talking. This gives us a rough approximation of where our video will start, but it's not quite accurate. We do need to rewind it a little bit. We're going to click and drag on that blue icon to the left a little bit. And we're going to find the point where we're right about to start talking. Once we've found that point, we're going to go ahead and click on this icon right here, which is going to tell the program this is where we want our video to start. Next, we're going to play this forward until we reach our first pause. So I'm going to use that play button again.
Hello, future me. Today is August 15th, and I'm making this time capsule for you. Have fun.
So I know right around here, just by looking at my script, this is where my video will need to end for that first section. We'll go ahead and hit mark out right here. That's going to trim our video down to just a little piece, just the part we want to start with. We're going to click and drag on our player here and drag that video down onto our timeline in the bottom right, and we're going to let go. That's going to add our video into Adobe Premiere Pro. Next thing we're going to do is clear our in and out points on our source monitor right here. I'm going to right click, so that's using the bottom right of the trackpad to open up our menu, and we're going to go to clear in and out. And you'll see, even though we've gotten rid of the points where it was gray before, that showed where our video started and stopped, when we actually look at our timeline, this is what our finished product will look like. We have not actually gotten rid of any of that information. So that's all right here on our timeline still. And this just means we've reset our clip and we'll be able to mark our in and our out points for the next section. I'm going to play this forward until I'm about to start talking again. So right around here, I heard myself breathe in. That's probably a good indicator that I'm about to start talking. So I'm going to pause it and I'm going to hit this mark in button and we'll press play again.
A few things about me. I'm 29 years old, and when I'm not at school, I like to play Rocket League with my friends. Another thing I really like doing is making espresso.
So again, this is where I know my video needs to stop talking based on the script. So I'm going to pause it there and I'm going to press this mark out button right here. We're going to now drag from our source monitor down onto the timeline, and we want to make sure this is on what we call video track 1. So this should be the same height as our other video that we already put on here, and we want it to be right next to our first video, and we'll go ahead and let go. Now we're running out of space on our timeline here, so I'm going to zoom out on our timeline by holding down on this handle right here on the scroll bar and sliding that over to the right, and that will allow us to zoom out. Now I'm going to do the repeat of what I did earlier, where I'm going to right click on that gray area of our source monitor, clear in and out, and I'm going to find the next area of the video where I start talking. So I'm going to go ahead and press play. And again, I'm stopping right before I think I'm going to start talking. I'll mark this endpoint right here, play it forward.
Right now, my favorite show is Delicious in Dungeon. I also really enjoyed the show Arcane.
And I'll stop it right after I say the second one here. And this is all seen in our script. So as long as you followed along with that script format when you recorded your video, you'll see that this is a really easy process. Again, I'm going to click and drag my video down to our timeline. Right click on this gray area, do clear in and out, and we're going to play forward until we find the next segment. And again, stopping right before you start talking, mark in, play forward.
Really excited about this year is getting all my students making their first videos. Something I'm nervous about is keeping up with my workload. And lastly, something I'm really proud of this year is earning my Adobe Photoshop certification.
And again, we'll stop it right there, mark our out point, and drag this down to our timeline right next to all of our other video clips. Right click on our gray bar, clear in and out, and we'll look for the next section. We'll pause it right before we start talking, mark our endpoint, and press play.
That's all I have to say for now.
And you'll see I messed up on this one, so I'm not going to mark another out point. I'm not going to drag it down onto the timeline. I'm going to wait until I start talking again. So this time I went a little too far. I'll click and drag on that playhead. And right around here is where I start talking. So I'll press my mark in button right here, and we'll press play again.
That's all I have to say for now. Keeping awesome, future me. Bye.
And we'll end it there and mark out and drag this down onto our timeline. If I skip forward on our video a little bit on our timeline, just by clicking on the numbers at the top here, we'll be able to see what this looks like when we're transitioning from section to section to section.
Have fun. A few things about me. I'm 29 years old, and when I'm not at school, I like to play Rocket League with my friends. Another thing I really like doing is making espresso. Right now, my favorite show is Delicious in Dungeon.
So you'll see that we have successfully combined all of our videos together from beginning of the script all the way to the end of the script. That's going to wrap it up for this part of the tutorial. So just make sure you go to File at the top and go down to Save. And then we'll be able to screenshot our work like we normally do with Windows F10. Turn in that screenshot on Google Classroom to receive credit. And that's going to wrap up this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all back in class. Bye now.